make like a shake that's like everything you need. Gosh, it's super hot.
Hello, Floppy Cutters. Today I'm going to do a
Floppy
video
cutters.
about the kind of ideas, suggestions that you can use if you want to
Floppy catters. Floppy kid. I have a cup somewhere of milk. Where it is. We have 4 in stock now. Yes. Somebody left a review. Ooh. They have an Alienware? Oh, 8 gigs of RAM for $1,000. Yeah, fuck that. The Oculus Quest is no wires, no limits. Yeah. The Oculus Rift S Touch Bundle. The Oculus Quest all-in-one VR gaming headset. 128 gigabytes. I wonder what kind of stuff you can do with that. Man, that is... That 8 gigs of RAM just kills it for me for that laptop. Especially for $1,000. And then there's the MSI. It's got a 1063 gig and an i5 for $699. Ooh, I could totally dig this. Yeah, it's just so red and... But this could do VR. That would be cool. I'd probably... I think it has an NVMe, actually. Yeah, it has an NVMe. It's like super fast. It's got USB-C 3.1. That's fast. That is cool. Mini DisplayPort. Oh, HDMI. Wow, tons of connections. SD card reader, that's pretty cool. It's like hot 1 minute, super cold the next. I was just burning up. I was like, I'm gonna sweat. Oh, did you? I was like sweating my makeup off. It's okay though. No regrets. No limits and no regrets. Regrets. So yeah. This is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I hope everyone's doing fantastic. Pretty fantastic. Oh, we do have the rebate. 504. Dude, that is a steal. I might be encouraged to get a 2070. I don't know. But I'm not getting it anytime soon. Probably like way later. Ends in 5 days. Oh, they extended it. Man, what a shame. What shame. Oh, that I just don't have. That I'm not like ultra rich and I can just buy this 2070. I guess Asus makes 3 versions of their Strix cards now. They came out with one that has a lower clock speed. Hey, bye. Pause. Are you mad at me? Don't leave. Pause, don't leave. He's like, hi, bye. I think he was joking. Hi, bye. Maybe he did actually leave. Wow, that's sad. Yeah, it's okay. So doesn't come. Oh, I already read this. This one is like not expensive, so maybe I'll get the cheaper one because this is great. A 2080. Oh man, I just can't. I just like $700 just or 800. I don't know, I just can't. Open box. Oh, 20. He said hi and bye, and then I said, please don't leave, come back. And he just left. It's fine though. I'll remember that pause. I will remember that. Too bad the 1660 Ti doesn't have a back plate that lights up. I can't get over that. That like kills it for me basically. Like dead in the water. Dead. Yeah. Let's see. 509 minus 414. Yeah, they're like $95 apart. I think I'm just gonna spend the extra $95 and get the 2070. If it stays 500, if it goes back up, then I'm not gonna do it. I'll just get the other one. What's up? Stop being emo. I didn't even go away. I'm getting all prepared for Monster Hunter World update. Yeah, are you downloading it right now? I'm not getting emo. You said hi and then you said bye, and then it made me really sad because I thought you were leaving me. And plus, I haven't seen you in weeks. Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter. Such paws, such claws. Why are you on your other account? I haven't seen such paws, much claws in forever. You're always on your cookie pink one. Your usernames are weird. You should, like, make them normie. Like, Paw Claws. Or Cat Claws. Or Cyberpunk Monday. Cyberpunk Monday. When you search it, you can't find it anymore. Your ex-girlfriend? Was there somebody before me? But you still keep the name? Wow. So is Monster Hunter World... Did the new update come out already? I'm downloading. When you were 8? You can't call it your girlfriend if you were 8. Oh, I remember, like... September. Okay. Somebody said it was a DLC, and I was like, it's not a DLC. We all get it, right? I had one girl, and she's my girl. What? What is that? It's like sending it? Oh, that's new. It's a new weird looking feature. Oh, it's sending it to all of them. No, that's not what I wanted. Oh, hello. Hello. Hello, Wolf. Welcome to the club. You are invited to watch me talk about nothing. So please sit back in your chair, relax, and let's talk about nothing. I took the best shower. You know how you take like a really, really good shower and you're just like, oh, so awesome? Yeah, it was so great. I'm so happy. Why did I write 1? I am downloading a lot of games. So apparently the new Oculus thing came out recently. It's the Oculus Quest. It's like $500 and it has 128. Oh, thank you for the follow. Thank you, Big. I appreciate it. Yeah. With lots of hearts. Oh, I wonder... Oh, she's probably not on. I haven't seen Finch on. What happens when you drink a gallon of water a day? You shouldn't drink a gallon of water a day. It's really deplete all of your electrolytes and your minerals. That's really bad. Fluid. I can't wait to throw my life away. Oh, with Monster Hunter World? I know, right? BRB. Yeah, I know. I can't wait to get back into Monster Hunter World. It's gonna be so much freaking fun. And we're gonna play together. Hold on, I'm gonna get Pop-Tarts. Monster Hunter World is such a great game. Tandy, you're the only one that's feeling like the best day of your life. The other cats are like, they're like, oh, we feel so shitty. Also, I drink 3/4 to a gallon of water per day and make sure that my diet accommodates that by adding electrolytes and minerals back into my meal. Yeah, you should do that. So I didn't know that, and I was like eating healthy and like exercising for a really long time, and I was drinking a lot of water, but I wasn't putting minerals back in, and I was like taking a multivitamin too. So like one day I felt like really weird. And I went to my doctor, and she like did this test, and she's like, yeah, all of your electrolytes and minerals and stuff are like depleted because you feel like lightheaded and you feel like really sick. And I told her how much water I was drinking, and she was like, what the F? Monster Hunter hype. And I was like, oh, everything that I say says that you should like drink tons of water. I know you can get water toxicity, obviously, but I wasn't drinking that much. I just wasn't. I was drinking so much water until I was like, the water was making me bloated. Like my belly would just swish around because it would just be water, and I just had to go to the bathroom like all the time. It was terrible. Bad idea. Bad idea. I do not do that anymore. And can kill you. Yeah. Some people don't know that though. There was this contest, and it was if you can drink the most water or something, you would win. And this girl drank the most water, and she won the contest, but then she died. It was really sad. Too bad I'm not training. Oh, too bad I'm not training. Oh, you're trying to guilt trip me. Look at how strong oh my god. My muscles are so weak. My fat to muscle ratio has increased. What's up, Spartan? It's nice to see you. I'm really happy to see everybody. Yeah. Really happy to see everybody. And hi! Hello. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're having a good day. Lovely muffin. My arms are starting to stretch mark. I've put on a little too much. Oh, but I'm still... You're still pathetic? You're not pathetic. Yeah, getting like stretch marks from exercising is very interesting. I met this like this older gentleman when I went to Muscle Beach in California, and they have like this outside gym, and he was exercising. This guy was like 70 years old, and I was like, what's your secret? And he like goes to this restaurant every day after he trains and eats like the same meal, and he's been training like that for like 20-30 years, so it's like his whole life. And his skin condition, everything was super good. And he was like, yeah, a lot of guys get like stretch marks when they get like big muscles and stuff. And he's like, I never did, because you know how like women are like more obsessed with like moisturizing and like massaging those areas to like make sure it gets into the skin. He's like, I make sure that I put on like lots of like body butter and stuff to make sure that I don't get it. I thought it was really interesting. Yeah. Yeah, dude, this guy was fucking ripped. I don't think I've ever seen a 70-year-old man as strong as him. And it was, you could tell, like, it was all natural. He was, like, in really good shape. He can, like, he could probably lift the both of us with his pinky. He wasn't, like, huge or, like, huge, you know, but he was, like, really, really lean. I think we talked for, like, an hour. I don't even remember. It was so long ago, but it was great. Can't wait till I buy a power rack / bench. I know, that's gonna be great when you get all of that stuff. I have a body bar that I got. I don't have a real body bar because I couldn't afford a real one. I bought like a cheap one off of like Walmart. And there's lots of like exercises you can do with the body bar. But if you get the real trademark body bar, it's just as heavy as like the cheap ones. It's made a lot better and it's thinner. So they have a body bar that I believe it bends. So you can do like really cool workouts. Body bar, I think that's what it's called. We used the body bar when I was in school and college. Classic body bars. Oh, I guess they're not that expensive. Okay. I think the one I have is like a 18 or 15 pound. I like my body bar. It's in my car. I need to like actually use it. I'm so lazy. Micro bars. Then they have the bendable one. I thought they had a bending body bar. All products. Micro classic body bars. Yeah, the body bar, I really like it. It's so nice to train with. I actually prefer the body bar over like the ones that you put the racks and stuff on. I think that's what they're called. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's so awesome. But yeah, I don't have a name brand one, obviously, because I didn't really want to pay that much for it. I got mine from like Walmart.com. Walmart doesn't carry them, but you know how you can like order from Walmart and have it sent to the store? That's what I did. They are barbell weights. I don't even know. They're like weighted body bar. They're like they're not even that good. The foam padding is really bad on the like not the trademark one. They're just made really bad. Like they're cheap. So I mean I like mine, but I haven't even used it that much and it's already like the foam is like breaking down. So I'm gonna take not Scotch tape, like the silver tape. I can't remember what it's called. I'm gonna like wrap it because I don't want it to like break. But maybe if I get extra money, I'll actually buy one. So for me, how I prefer to train is, of course, like the fastest way to build muscle is heavy lifting, right? But like when I was at home and I like for the summertime, like when I was in school and of course like didn't have a summer job, we only had lighter weights at my house, so I just did more repetitions with the lighter weights because I mean obviously it's the only way to mimic like lifting heavy. It takes longer, but over the summer though I did do really well. I miss those days, miss the freedom. Whoa. But yeah, I think it would be really fun to have like a weightlifting rack. I don't know if I would use it. Maybe I would benefit from one of those. I forgot those machines where you like put the rope on it and you like put the weight and you do like that, or you can like do something like that. I forgot what they're called. I'm like on Walmart's website and I see it, but it doesn't It doesn't have the right name. Like, okay, I've seen this one. This one is the Elite Smith Cage Home Workout Machine. Oh, this is like $1,000. Nah, this has like everything you need. Yeah, it'd be cool to have one of those. They have these big machines that are like take up less space, but they're way more expensive. So this one takes up a lot more space and it's $1,000. And then they have like a smaller version of it that's like more complex, so you can still do the same workouts, and it's $1,800. You are literally paying more money to have all of the equipment like smaller. So I guess it's worth it if you live in like an apartment or someplace small, because like, I don't know, working out at I don't mind working out in a gym. Actually, it's okay for me. Is everything still working? Pinching. Let me do my restream chat. That's not even up. Restream chat. So yeah, it's working. No one's talking right now. So for me, I don't mind working out at a gym, honestly. It doesn't really bother me. So I can work out at a gym and be totally fine. But I know some people, when they work out at the gym, they like feel really self-conscious, or they can't like work out really hard. I basically like go to the gym and I like zone out. I don't even like realize that there's other people there, because like I don't even care. The only time that I ever, like, even now when I'm like out of shape, I would still go to the gym and not care. The only time that it was ever uncomfortable to go to the gym, so I was like, I had lost like, I think 40 pounds, right? And I had like the entire summer, I was like lifting and I had like really good muscle tone. And I went to the gym and I went to the weight room, and that's where like all the guys were. And I like walked in there and I was getting like stared at. It was really uncomfortable. Not like they were mad that I was there. It was like, oh, you look nice kind of stare. And it was just kind of uncomfortable. But like when I was like out of shape and went to the weight room, then like I didn't really care. So that was like the only time. I don't think I even stayed. I think I might have stayed there for like 15 minutes. I don't know. I don't do a ton of weightlifting because I build muscle pretty fast. So I don't need to spend hours and hours in the gym lifting. I just like, I'm not bragging or anything, but I can literally like do like this and I get like definition, and I'll just be like, yep, alright, I'm done. And I'll stay like that for a long time. So pause. Have you heard of Thrive Market? Yeah, the stream is good on my side. Ah, okay. I was just double checking. Have I heard of what? Have you heard of Thrive Market? So Thrive Market, if I can show that to you. So Thrive Market is a online grocery store. The only thing is you do have to pay a membership after your first time shopping there, and I think it's like $60 for the year. But I was looking at their meat selection, and you can get like 11. Wait, what did I pick out? So I put this. This is the premium meat and seafood box. It's $150. And it's 26 servings. I won't show me because I already picked out what I want. But it's basically, This is dumb. Okay. I'm gonna try to show you this. ThriveMarket.com. Are they making you fucking log in now? I don't want to try anything. I just want to look on your website. Maybe I can't. Yeah, they're like... I don't want to try. See, before you could just shop bestsellers. Hold on. Here we go. Yeah, it's the membership thing. That's why I haven't shopped there. But the thing is I really want to start a new diet. And the thing is that their meat looks like it might be a decent price. Because think about it, if you get like 26 servings in the box and it's like $150, that's way cheaper than buying in the store. So for me, like some people can have chicken and then they like use that for building. Chicken for me doesn't digest well, and especially if it's not organic chicken, I can taste like I can just taste the stuff in the chicken. It puts me off. And like chicken, a lot of times it just makes me feel like not that great unless it's like super fried or something. I never ate a lot of chicken when I was a kid. We ate mostly a lot of fish, I would say, like mackerel, sardines maybe. But yeah, my diet when I was a kid was pretty healthy. Like my mom would make stew, like these tomato stews. They would have fish in them, tons of vegetables, and then for our carbohydrate, we would have like white rice. And like we all had like good health and stuff like that. But I'm thinking of doing this because let's say I get their smaller meat package, right? It's like $100 for 6 pounds. So the organic meat that I like to buy is too expensive to buy where I live. Continue. I don't think that's gonna work. So I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Then they have a combo for 104. It's pork and beef. I don't know. I'll give it a go. I don't know how long this is gonna last though. Like, I guess if you ate a serving a day, that would be almost a month. That would be worth it for me. Because I think the stuff that I was buying was like 8 ounces and it was like $10. So 8 I don't even think it was 8. So let's see. Yeah, because basically 2 would make a pound. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it would cost more money if I bought the organic meat that I buy. It'd be 20. So it'd be $200 a month. I could possibly spend like 150 and get almost my serving, but I wouldn't eat this every day. So I'd probably buy the one for 100 and like mix and match it.
I tried one of those with somebody before and the quality wasn't very good, but I can't remember what the name was.
It was probably that other. Oh, it was probably Omaha. Was it?
No, it wasn't that. It was like gave you like all kinds of different stuff to choose from, and they would come in like a pre-configured pack, but it was like low quality.
Yeah, Omaha is the only one I can think of. Where I shop and there's pre-discounts, you buy 16 ounces. Is that for steak or is that for chicken? Okay. Chicken. Yeah, I can't do chicken. So, steak. Yeah. Well, so chicken, especially for women, doesn't have heme iron in it. So, if we eat it to like replenish our iron for like period and blood loss, chicken isn't helpful. Most of the time, they're gonna tell you to have a steak. That's why when you lose a ton of blood, they're like, have a big steak. That's a lot better. Chicken just doesn't have the nutritional value for that reason. So for me, it just doesn't make any sense. I'd rather have eggs. And then I would have like maybe chicken liver. But that's about it. I do want to buy a whole chicken and grind it up and give it to my... And that's have iron. It would still be cheaper. So the iron in vegetables is not a lot of times bioavailable. It's actually wrapped in like oxalates and some other stuff that is very difficult for humans to convert. And if you like read the studies on it, at best it's like 8%. Whereas from animal protein, it's a little bit more bioavailable. But the point is that veggies don't have heme iron in it. It only comes from like higher chain animals, so like cows, pigs, but not chicken and turkey. They're too like low on the food chain. I like turkey though. For me, if like chicken is just meh, but I like ground turkey. So I make tacos out of ground turkey. That's what I use. And I don't really like a lot of fruit, so I definitely choose vegetables. I like my vegetables steamed, because obviously steaming is going to be the best way to get the most nutrition out of them. So I have like this, I finally brought it with me. I have this. I have this. Oh my god. Pause. Look. This brought me all through college. He sent me a link. I know. I just told you. Non-heme and non-heme iron. Yeah, but from eggs. So nuts, seeds, tofu, lentils, beans. They're not as bioavailable. So I know that you're not as familiar. Yeah, I know veggies are on the list. They're not as bioavailable, and heme iron come from dead animals. So I have this. And this took me. That took me all through college. The cool thing about being a guy is that men, I freaking hate you guys, but you can eat like way different than women and be like, I'm totally fine. And then girl eats that way and she's like, man, I feel so shitty. And they're like, oh, because you just need a little bit more stuff. There are women that are 100 times healthier than you and that eat these veggies regularly. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And chicken. Yeah, Chich. Thank you for the follow. I know what you're saying. So it's really difficult for me to like talk about nutrition and like all of the things that I know, because I listen to hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of like scientific talks. So like a lot of the stuff I have saved, and I know that no one's gonna want to spend like 100 hours listening to like 100 like talks. So one of the things I have been super interested in for the last couple of weeks has been the conversion of plants. That's not the right word. Like how the stuff in plants converts into the human body, and how like it's not really as bioavailable. So 1,000 times healthier. It's just really difficult. And I know a lot of stuff, and I don't really like to talk to people about it because it makes me really uncomfortable, and I don't like arguing with people. I wonder, but chicken is just meh. It's a meh food. It's meh. But like I said, if you eat a little bit higher up on the food chain, you'll get like more nutrition. Like, of course, liver, but beef liver. It's pretty cool. Then you get like vitamin A. Plants can be really interesting because I don't know. Plants are weird because everyone has a different tolerance to like oxalates, pretty much. So basically, I don't know how to explain an oxalate. An oxalate is basically how plants defend themselves. So they're like these. They're not crystals, but they're like sharp. They're like a sharp crystal. That's the only way I can explain it. And so, for instance, if you like, some people will have arthritis, for instance, right? Okay, so they say like if you have arthritis, you should eat less eat less food from the nightshade family, which is tomatoes, bell peppers, potatoes, because obviously they like will irritate, and in a lot of cases they can cause like arthritis, psoriasis, some other things. So especially in our culture today, we don't prepare food the right way. So if you look at traditional cultures, which I am like crazy about, so a really, really like good place to start for how like nutrition started. It's a really hard read for some people, but it's a book called Good Calories, Bad Calories by Gary Taubes. It got broken. It's called Good Calories, Bad Calories by Gary Taubes. And he basically talks about, it's not a how to eat book, but he basically talks about like how certain foods were demonized and like the whole history. And then the book is pretty long. It's like over 600 pages, but it has over 1,000 study and peer review studies that are noted in the book. So that one's a really, really cool one to start with. There's also a dentist. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of him. His name was Weston A. Price. And he lived a really long time ago, but he went around the world and he looked at indigenous cultures. So this is why when people are like, oh, being vegan is better, or doing low carb is better, or like this diet is better, but it basically proves that all of that is like kind of bullshit, because as long as you were on your traditional diet, no matter if it was like, well, there were no vegan cultures that they ever found. They still ate fish or bugs or whatever. But like as long as you stayed on your traditional diet, you didn't have heart disease, your teeth came in perfectly.
If you start eating bugs, I'm gonna walk away. You know that. There's no bug eating around here.
They're so full of protein, they're really good for you.
I'm not gonna have no bug eating this house.
But basically, if you stayed on your traditional diet, you, thank you for the follow, Snow Girl, you basically were healthy. So people are like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. I'm like, no, as long as you stay on your traditional diet, you're good. But the thing about the traditional diets is the preparation of food. So if you look at in cultures that do eat nightshades, they would like take the seeds out and they would like take off the skin, because that's where most of the toxins from the plants were that would like attack your joints and stuff. So, but they would like throw that away. Today we just like eat all of it. And then beans are like the worst, because beans have lots of lectins and like other things that can like really irritate people and make them not feel well. But in India, if you look at their way that they prepare the beans traditionally, you're supposed to cook them for 10 to 24 hours. And what that does is it breaks down all of the phytonutrients inside of the bean, because beans and nuts are the main offenders. They really want to protect themselves, right, from bugs. They don't care about humans, but we eat them. But the long period of cooking breaks down the lectins. But when it comes to the oxalates, it seems that cooking them doesn't break them down. So there's been a few research studies on that. Some scientists were saying like maybe if you boil the food, you can reduce 1/3 of it. But some people, so according to this one doctor, the only way to describe it is like a sensitivity. And she's like, in the talk, they're like, yeah, these people are sensitive to oxalate. She's like, it's not a sensitivity, it's a toxin, right? Because the plant is protecting itself. So some people are more sensitive to the plant, like the way that the plants protect themselves, and other people might not be as sensitive. So it's really super, super interesting, like how certain people can do well on certain diets. One of the most interesting things, especially about like today, is how we like kind of like disregard the way that people ate years ago and never had these problems. And it's like, it's so cool because I guess it's like a common misconception that if it's an old study, it's not relevant. But scientists are saying that if it's a good study, it'll be relevant even like 50, 100 years later, because if it was done with good science, double blind, like standard, like everything was set up really well, no matter if they repeat it, it'll always happen, right? So there's some really old studies about like some of these things that people knew about 100 years ago, which is really interesting. We always forget that like humans nowadays, we think like people didn't know about this stuff. And I'm like, well, they did. Like, you know, they figured out, they might not have known the names for it, but they figured out that if they cooked a plant or whatever for this amount of time, that these things weren't going to happen to you. And it's just like, it's really crazy. It's so crazy. So it's really difficult for me to talk about like nutrition to people, because if you're like on the surface level, and with me like being dyslexic and like hard to like organize my thoughts, it's like hard to explain everything. But I actually do know a lot of stuff. I know a lot of things that most people don't know, and a lot of people like don't listen. And then like 5 years later, they'll be like telling me the same thing that I already told them, and I'm like, yeah, I told you that like a long time ago. It was really funny. So I don't say anything. I just pretend. I'm like, yep, I already knew that. But it's really, you're not allowed to sing. I love a bug eater. We don't eat bugs.
I do.
Is contradictory. Well, I mean, do you know anything about oxalates? Do you know anything about lectins? It is good animal protein. Yeah. Yeah, so I think a good place to start is good calories, bad calories. And uh Western A price. Western price. Degeneration. This one.
https://www.
This one will explain more of the traditional stuff. So it didn't show on Mixer. Oh, my band-aids. Look. And then this oh, here she goes. You got that stuck in my head.
Brain poison.
I know, right?
Actually, I like hollow notes. They're pretty good. They're a decent band.
Ox. Oxalites. Oxalates. I can't spell today. Can't spell ever. Spelling is difficult.
Ocelots.
No.
Ocelots.
No.
I'll
Ocelots. Ocelots.
Ocelots. If you read ocelots, then you can see in the dark like they can't. It's a true story.
Yeah.
Native Americans have proven that if you take pictures of people, you steal their soul.
Oh, really?
And if you eat their body parts, you gain their power.
Oh, okay.
That's why I try to eat people whenever I can.
Ah.
But I
Man, it's been
those weak ass chunks.
week. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're laying down. Oh my gosh. It can't find it because I can't spell it. Oh. Oh, I can just go to Reddit. It's actually on there. There we go. Is it just? Oh, here she goes. You're a mind reader. I've been through all of the traditional stuff, and I'm like not bragging, but I'm pretty much beyond people. So I just am like, yep.
Are you kind of a big deal?
No. I guess if I was more aggressive, I could like do that, but I'm not. What's her name? Doctor. What is her name? Here we go. So this is another good place to start. Oh, I wonder, are you into like podcasts and stuff? Like I said, it's some of this stuff is really hard to grasp if you don't have the time to go into it. So sometimes it's really hard to talk with me because I just have so many hours in. And nobody's gonna want to read a 650-page book in order to get on the same base, kind of, as me. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just not something people are willing to do. Oh, and check this book out. This one is the best one to get started with. So, the good calories, bad calories will give you the history of how all of this started. So, if I were you, I would start off with good calories, bad calories, then I would work up to the Weston A. Price book, and then I would check out the plant oxalates in that order. They're all kind of out of order, but those are the helpful links that'll get you started. Hi, Handspring Kid. What's up? How are you doing? How are you doing? What game am I playing? I'm not playing a game today, actually. I'm just talking. And there's some other stuff. If you want to talk about it, I have probably over 100 different hour-long talks of like people who talked at Harvard about like traditional diets, the way that our teeth develop, the way that our feet come in, all depending on what we eat. So like I said, modern diets are deficient in a lot of things, especially because we don't eat nose to tail. We don't eat the organ meats, which have the most vitamins in them. They're most biologically available over plants, which there's nothing wrong with eating fruits and vegetables. But it depends on where you come from in the world. So some people can do more conversion and some people can't. It's really interesting though, because so if you come from a culture that ate a lot of animal products and you switched over to like a vegan or vegetarian diet, you might have more difficulties. And it's interesting because there's this, oh yes, there's another one that's really good to start with. So pause. If you do all of that, and it's gonna take, it'll take a while, do all that. There's another lady, she's really interesting. Now she's a vegetarian, but I like her, what she says. She's very good. And she has a friend who has an orphanage in Africa, but I couldn't remember what country. And so they would get babies that were, gosh, I can't remember what these people are called. The Maasai. So they would get Maasai babies, and so they had, the way that they were feeding these Maasai babies, like, I think they like goat milk or like formula, and they were failing to thrive. And if you know anything about the Maasai diet, they eat meat, they drink and blood. So those are, and a lot of people are grossed out by the blood, but the blood has very, very high iron and your like mineral content, so that's where they get a lot of their minerals from. So they were like, she was talking about it, and like I said, she's a vegetarian, so her beliefs are a little bit different, but even she kind of admitted that, different diets work for different people. So they were feeding these kids like more of a, I wouldn't say like a vegetarian, but they were feeding them more fruits and vegetables, and they just were not doing very well. And if you look at people like even in North Europe, for instance, that adopt like a vegan lifestyle, there's this woman, and she goes through and she shows when people first start the vegan diet and then 5 years after, and you can kind of see like their skin changing, their eyes are like a little bit more sunken in, and it's just because lack of like collagen, B12, and like some other things. And even if they're supplementing with plant proteins, their body's not obviously absorbing that. So they were having a lot of problems. And as soon as they switched back to eating like more fish and other stuff, they did fine. So it's really super, super interesting. I think like it's crazy. But the best thing that a person can do, and I know people don't have time nowadays, is the best thing you can do is prepare the food the traditional way, because not only is it really beneficial, there's actually books on how to show you how to prepare traditional foods, and they're more filling, and it's like, it's really great. Like I have one, and I know people like, they don't have time or anything, but you can get like the instant pot, and you can make bone broth in it like way faster. Because I used to make not bone broth, but I used to make like broth so I could have like collagen and stuff, and I would like cook it for like 10 hours. But in the instant pot, it's done in 2.5. So that's really super cool. So yeah, I think those ones are, and like I said, I have like a half terabyte of just like Harvard talks and different things like that, which is really interesting. So a lot of the stuff I'll save it. I'll save the I'll save the video, because sometimes they'll come out with a lot of them, and then the person who published it will like private the video after it's been published, or they'll like delete it because it's on some other website. So some of this information is some of it I have lost because I'll put it in favorites and it won't be available anymore. So I tried to, if I find a really good talk, I will try to save it as much as possible. But yeah, like I said, all this stuff is so interesting to me, because I started off and I was like the same way, and it really was all a lot. And I started reading about this stuff like, I think 7 years ago, a very long time ago. So I'm like head deep. And then some people I can't even talk to, because I'm just like, haven't you seen like the latest research that like everyone knows this now? And they're like, no, this is true. And I'm like, but you can even go to like the World Health Organization and they'll be like, no, this was never true and we could never prove it. I'm like, okay. Humans are just bizarre. Like, I don't think any diet is perfect for anyone. All I know is that if we ate our traditional, like what the traditional cultures ate, no matter what the diet was, because if you travel all over the world, everyone eats differently, that they didn't have the problems that we had today. So it's really super, super, super interesting how all of this works. And some of it is interesting to me because like we're just, I don't know, it's all so, I love nutrition. Like when I took nutrition classes, we would have like our textbook, like all the stuff that we had learned, and I knew like more stuff in the book, and I would just like talk to my teachers about this, and they would just be like really intrigued because I would know a lot. But yeah, I've taken all of the traditional nutrition classes. I was thinking about getting a holistic nutrition certification while I was still in college, but I didn't feel like staying in school more. Although maybe that would have been helpful, because maybe I could like work for a doctor. I don't know. I don't want to work with like sick people, but maybe it would have been fun. And then it all started with like I was like reading stuff and I thought I knew, and then it all started with like it's all, so think of eating this way combined with intermittent fasting. Oh my gosh, I've seen people have some really, really crazy gains. It's been amazing. The 1 minute, oh, this is old. You stop talking. Where did you go? Where did everyone go? I don't know. I just like talking about nutrition. I have to go to my parents' house tomorrow, which is gonna be fun. I guess they want to like play some games and stuff. Yeah. I'd be like, it'd be cool to be like a vet. I would like, I would work my miracle through like animal nutrition. They'd be like, how did you fix them? And I'll be like, magic. Magic. I miss my rack. I wish I would have kept that. It's the one thing I wish I would have kept. Aww. So I have my roommate's cat, and he's doing very well. My cats are sick because that's what cats do. Actually, any living, breathing creature. And I took the one that wasn't feeling the best. I took her to the vet today. And she was very not happy with me. She like didn't even bother. So I rubbed her on the head, and then she was like, okay, mommy, I'm better now. And then she was good. She was really good. She was so good. But yeah, even if you listen to the YouTube one about the expert in oxalate, she's basically the premier expert in that field. And her story is very interesting. Very, very interesting. I'm gonna keep it PG-13, but you'll have to watch the video. I was gonna send you a longer one, but I'm not sure if you'd want to sit through a 2-hour lecture, because some people don't have the patience for that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's really hard for me to talk about things because a lot of stuff that I study, I will sit there for hours and hours and hours and like listen to the scientific talks or read super long books with like tons of like hundreds upon hundreds of like research papers. And so I'm not trying to sound like an asshole, but like some people just don't have the patience for that. So it's hard for me to have like a base if they don't know where I'm coming from. I just sound like a crazy lady that doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, even though these books have been around. The Weston A. Price book has been out for a very long time. So it makes me really sad that scientists knew about this stuff for like 70, 80 years. And the food industry has just been able to basically cover it up. And we're now discovering that this... So, like, for instance, so the woman who discovered trans fats... So this is why you have to be careful with scientific research. So the woman who discovered that trans fats was bad for you, she tried to publish her paper and she was blacklisted from every institution, and it basically ended her career. So if you want to read about that, you can. I probably can find you a link somewhere, but I was listening to a scientific talk and she was talking about it. And so basically they wanted to keep that, like, they knew trans fats were bad, but they didn't want her to... She was like a whistleblower, basically, because she was just being a scientist. She wanted to study this kind of stuff, and once she got blacklisted, it ended her career, so she could never work at any other place. Her work would not get published. So it's been terrible. Same with like so let's start off, like, for instance, let's talk about saturated fat, for instance, how it became demonized. So there was a scientist called Edsel Ward. I cannot remember his name, but if you look up the 7-country study, so this is how it started. 7-country study. I cannot remember this guy's name. Oh, Ansel Keys. So Ansel Keys did the 7-country study where he was trying to prove that saturated fat was bad for you. So when you look at the original chart, I believe there was like either 21 or 24 countries, and it showed like all over the place, so they could never prove that it was true. So he selected 7 countries that fit his hypothesis, and then like the government just went with that and was like, let's do it. And then they would do all these studies for years and years and years and years, and for 40 years they tried to prove that saturated fat was bad, and they couldn't prove it. So that's why you saw, like, a couple years ago, Time magazine came out with an article saying that, you know, like, they could never prove it. And a bunch of other scientific articles came out and was like, yeah, okay, we can never prove that it was true. What they did find out, though, is that if your diet is super high in sugar, the sugar scrapes the arteries, basically, causes micro tears, and it can induce a heart attack. So, for instance, the best way, if you look at strokes, for instance, if you look at the Seventh-day Adventists, they have they're either vegan or vegetarian, and they believe in like a very, very kind of like low-fat diet. They are 11% more likely outside of the standard American diet to die of a stroke. It is very, very high in their community. And even the scientists, so if you've ever heard, I think it was the rice diet. So there is a diet for people that have very bad heart disease and like clogged arteries. It's a very, very low fat diet, but it's super high in sugar. So the diet does work, but some of these people end up as like diabetics or have other issues. So it's really interesting to see the research on it. And when like low carb, like before it was even a thing, that was used in hospitals for epileptics or people who had diabetes. It was always a therapeutic diet. But if you look at the Inuit population, people think that it's high protein, like moderate fat, low carbohydrate, but it's high fat, moderate protein, and low carbohydrate because they live in a cold climate, so they can't get a lot of carbs anyway. Or they might get it from eating animals because there is a little tiny carbs in there. But scientists have known for years that if you have a super, super high protein diet, your kidneys can't filter that stuff out, so it can be pretty dangerous. And there was a scientist, so if you eat, let's say you eat, this is why eating only lean, so you cannot subsist on a diet of just eating lean protein, and that's all. You'll get something called rabbit syndrome. Is it called rabbit syndrome? Yeah, it's rabbit syndrome. No, it's not rabbit syndrome. Rabbit something, and it's from eating too much protein. And so there were these 2 scientists that went to go live with the Inuit, and they ate their diet and they were fine, and then they came back to like the Western world and they told their story, and no one believed them, so they locked these 2 guys up in a hospital to like prove that they were correct. And they were like, you should just eat lean proteins, and they ended up sick. Where am I from? I'm from Michigan. They end up getting sick. So people say, like, if you eat too much animal products or if there's no vitamin C in it. Well, the Inuit, when they would cook their food, all of the vitamin C, there's a very small percentage of vitamin C in animals, but It's a very small percentage, but if you cook it and you have the broth, you're supposed to drink the broth with it, and that's how they were able to, get their vitamin C, which is really super interesting. So it's it's if I didn't have like brain stuff and I had to like overthink things and I could just be like quick, if I was like really good at debate, which I might join a debate team just so I can. I would basically talk people into a corner and be like, "Yep, all right, what are you talking about? You have an idea? What's that? What's your idea? Can I react to a song? I'm streaming on YouTube, so I probably won't react to a song. But but it was just super interesting. Like, all this stuff is great. And then another thing that people might not know is that so you know how you have people who have celiacs, right? So they're actually allergic to the gluten in like wheat and similar plants. So the wheat in the United States and the wheat in Europe is different. So you have these people who we already knew that they were actually had gluten problems, and they had surgery to like prove it, and they looked at their it's not surgery, but they like look at the lining, see if it's like worn down. And they would go to like France or whatever and have like European bread and they wouldn't react to it. It's because our bread and stuff is all different. It's weird because in the United States our stuff's it's bred so weird that like all of the bad things in plants that are used to protect themselves is overly emphasized. So then you eat that and then our animals are fed really bad. It's just like I'd rather like get food from abroad, honestly, because it's just crazy. And even if you get like, for instance, corn, like if you get no GMO corn, it is estimated in the United States because the GMO corn, because like the seeds will blow and they all intermingle with each other, that there's like no corn really in the United States that's not GMO. Even in Mexico, which has over 100 different types of corn, now because they have all of the GMO stuff, a lot of their traditional corn is breeding basically with this GMO stuff. So it's like weird. And they have to be careful because the companies patent this stuff. So if it like gets on your property and you're not actually using it, or you're not growing it, there's some legal problems. So you can get in trouble for nature because you're not allowed to save the seeds, which is crazy. But I mean, they're patented, so I understand like they don't want their intellectual property to be vandalized. I mean, whatever, it's a plant. But plants and nutrition is just really super, super interesting to me. So yeah, I think, like I said, good calories, bad calories would be a really good place to start. It's I wouldn't say it's a dry read, but it's very straight to the point with all of the scientific stuff. It's not going to teach you anything about nutrition. It's just going to talk about how certain things got demonized and how certain things got accepted. I own that book, but I own a digital copy because it's so many freaking pages and I didn't want to read it. I probably could have got it on Audible, but I got it so long ago that I just own the digital copy of it. Because I think you can get the Kindle copy now for cheaper. But yeah, good calories, bad calories is a good place to start. It's good. Does anybody have any questions? I feel like a teacher. Like, does anyone have any questions? Oh, here she goes. And so, yeah. Alright, well, I'm probably gonna head off pretty soon. It's getting pretty late, and, I'm tired. I have to be up tomorrow, and I have to finish packing all my stuffs. All the stuffs. I need big, ginormous boxes. All I need is boxes to just put stuff in. I don't even, like, pack anything. Just giant boxes. So, yeah. I hope everyone learned something new and fantastic today. Yeah. So good. So bad for you, but so good. Oh, I should have had my cake instead. Alright, everybody. Good night. And, maybe we will play some games tomorrow. I don't know. It's really fun. But, have a good afternoon. No, have a good night. Bye.